Good morning and welcome back to our boatyard, but this episode will be a little bit different because it's not going to take place in our boatyard. It's going to take place at another boatyard with another boat inside being worked on by another person. So I'm excited to introduce you to this week's special guest on this field trip edition of Magic Carpet. We've been working on our boat for a long time. And part of long-term success in any project is surrounding yourself with people who have similar dreams and similar skills. People you can learn from, commiserate with, and celebrate as you both muddle through on your way to some distant but exciting future. And we were on our way to go visit one of those people. Hello! We have made a journey up to the northern part of Washington to go visit somebody with a somewhat similar project to ours.
Yeah, similar.
It's always good to visit other people who are doing such crazy things. It makes us feel a little less alone. So we came across your videos recently, and we're like, oh, you're close by and you're doing something interesting. So, John, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, thanks. So my name's John, and we are working on a 1989 Liberty 458 here up in Northwest Washington. And I also found your videos not too long ago, and I've just been really impressed with your work. And so I'm just finding a lot of inspiration from what you guys do. But yeah, I've always wanted to fix up an old boat, and here we go.
So let's go have a look at what John's working on.
We built the shed around the boat.
Where the boat was moored.
Back the boat in, This is our 1989 Liberty 458, and it's named Antidote. And this is a boat that we bought during the middle of the pandemic. And how do you resist a boat named Antidote in the middle of the pandemic? When all these things were swirling around, we were trying to make this decision. That was, maybe one of those signs, if you will, right?
So, what's happening today?
All right, so today we have our captain is bringing Antidote in to Bellingham from Victoria. Today's our first day to see the boat and see what we have.
If I was going to sort of summarize the story for you, like really high level overview, I'm a mechanical engineer and I was working for the same company. I had moved down from Vancouver, Canada to Bellingham, Washington in 2007 to start this job, my first real job as a mechanical engineer. And I had a great experience. It was a great company, but I've always sort of had these old dreams. And if you look back at my life when I was in my 20s, I had all these big dreams and ambitions, but I had like so little means. And then I decided to finish my engineering degree after a lot of back and forth. And after 15 years, and I think it was really the pandemic that kind of shook me. That was a situation that really made you stop and think and evaluate what really mattered to you in life and what your priorities were. And all these dreams started to resurface. I was listening to this book by John Kretschmer called Sailing a Serious Ocean, and it really reawakened these sailing dreams. And so now these dreams that I'd had when I was in my 20s that were like so far out of touch were maybe possible again. Bridget encouraged me to start looking for boats, and she'd send me boats. This is one that she found, and it sort of met all of our qualifications. I think I said earlier to you, it wasn't a compromise, this was like the fit.
There it is.
It is, it's the boat. Refitting the boat is a huge part of the dream for me. Not so much for my wife. I think you can relate to that.
Yes.
But it is for me. It's a creative outlet, and I get to think about it. Sometimes too much, but I do enjoy it. So I did want that to be part of the experience. Yeah, I wouldn't have been happy just to buy a boat and go sailing.
Are we authorized?
I will need to see some identification.
Nice.
This boat shed is so beautiful.
That's really cool.
So you've already started work on this boat.
Yeah.
Did you start with the decks, or how did you start with this?
Yeah, well, I knew that the decks were soft, and so
Yeah.
I wanted to start with that. So these were all covered in teak when I bought the boat, and it was totally shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started peeling the teak off, and then, one thing led to another. But the plan right now is to go after the deck first. And so all the cap rails came off, and then all the bronze fittings that went through the deck, and we're going to start working our way from the bow to the stern.
Nice. So center cockpit boat
Yep, center cockpit.
with a raised aft deck.
Yes.
Oh, this is the lounge, the exterior
There's
lounge here.
There's lots of room for activities back here.
Oh yeah.
What brought you to this boat in particular?
Well, it's a combination of things. I had been reading a lot of John Kretschmer's work. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Oh yeah.
But there's a neat part about it that talks about some really great boats that are good for crossing oceans, and it's good from my perspective because I'm not in a position to buy a brand new boat, and so I knew I'd be getting something that had a little bit of work in it. So I had an idea of what the boats I wanted, and then my wife had her own ideas about some different things, and she was interested mainly in an aft cabin.
Yeah.
And I was really focused on a boat that had a good hull shape and was designed and capable of going where I wanted to go. And Bridget actually found this boat on Craigslist of all places. We're gonna be doing a lot of recoring work. I'm hoping not to have to do all of it, but I'm prepared to be doing all of the core in the deck. And then we'll probably be doing just a roll-on non-skid for now. But that's the big job up here, and then we'll have to replace the cap rails. I'm gonna either be going with new teak or maybe a synthetic. I haven't quite decided yet. Cabin top seems to be very sound. There's a couple of small water leaks around the portholes. We'll address those as we need to. So up here at the bow, this is the first area where I've cut into the deck. And what we pulled out of here was just a ton of rotten plywood, and it was wet to the touch, and all of the laminations were coming apart, so it was completely shot. And so I've just prepared this for new material to start going back in, and I haven't actually committed yet to the material that's going to go back in here yet. That's coming very soon, so I'll be continuing to do just like this. I'll be cutting along pretty much where the non-skid is molded in is where I'm cutting. I'll be coming back and revealing more of this and supporting it from below and putting in new core material. I'm coming to this project as someone I'm excited about boats and sailing. I'm not a professional boat builder. I'm not a professional fiberglass technician or even marine systems. But I think as an engineer you learn to think about a lot of these problems kind of from a high level and then work out the solutions. And so my goal with this refit is to involve as many experts as I can that have this expertise that can help me and help inform my decisions. So I'm trying to figure out what are the questions that I need to ask and then who I need to ask them to, and then lean on them for their expertise. So that's my strategy to avoid a lot of pitfalls. And I've done a lot of things myself. I do a lot of DIY work, but I don't cut corners and try to save money on things. I like to find out what the proper approach would be, and then if I don't have the skills, I'll either learn them or find someone that has them. But generally I like to learn to do things myself.
All right, time for the interior tour.
Yeah, do it. Come on down. So you come on down and you're kind of greeted in this big open salon, and right now the table is missing. We're kind of in, I wouldn't say we're in full work mode in here yet, but we're getting ready to be. So starboard, just behind you there is a little galley.
This is a super lovely galley.
Yeah, don't mind the big dehumidifier. And then coming forward, we have this interesting, I've never really seen this before on any other boat. This is a little office sort of setups. This is where we'll be editing our YouTube videos when we're out.
Perfect.
And then you have a little double pull-out bed here to the other side. So that's pretty cool. And then all the way forward, there's the head. So this will be the 8-second riding bowl when you're out in the seaway, but it'll be interesting. I think it's a nicer way to use this space than to have the berth, personally.
Yeah.
But, I like it. And then there's a very generous storage space, anchor locker forward.
Perfect.
Yeah. So then coming back, there's a little navigation station here. This is not really functional at the moment, but so nav station, instruments, the old electrical panel. In here we have a 90 horsepower Lehman 90. It's an old British marinized. Well, they're pretty common around here. They're great little engines. This is something that I love as an engineer. This is my little workstation. So I have a little workbench and room to put tools and spare parts and things. So I'm all about that. And then we talked about the aft cabin, the centerline queen berth. This is what Bridget really, really was hoping to find. And it's lovely, so I mean, I'm really excited to have it too. So we have space for a really nice, generous bed here, and nice, there's some transom windows. I'm trying to say nice too much. I say nice a lot. So we have the generous lighting from the windows and the bed here. So just lovely interior woodwork on this boat. It's an old 1989. It was built in Taiwan, Shinfa, and the woodwork is just outstanding. And
It's really beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's in great shape. And yeah, I have no desire to paint it all out white. I'm just gonna keep as much of it natural as I can. I love it.
For sure, yeah.
And then we have a second head on the boat. So another place for that, and then a standing shower, which is nice, an enclosed standing shower. So
That's really nice.
yeah, it's a nice feature.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And that's it. That's the 1989 Liberty 458. So. Well, I mean, I know I've always wanted to go sailing. I didn't know about YouTube for a long time. I think I was, though, watching some other channels like yours and like the Duracell Project, and just and Mads for sure too. Sail Life. He was one that I watched a long time ago, and this just sort of maybe made me think, hey, that would be maybe a fun way to do it. And I looked at it as a way to document the process as much as to. I mean, I didn't know if anyone would watch anything, and really, honestly, it's not. I mean, I do care if people want to watch. It's really exciting that people want to watch, but yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with filmmaking apart from making some little films. But I do enjoy it. It's creating. I like to create anything really, and so that's another creative outlet for me. And it's fun to look at different ways to put things together and tell a story.
You can check out John's channel by searching Living for Sail on YouTube or clicking the link in our video description. But don't go just yet. We have one more adventure to share with you before we head back to our boatyard to work on our own project boat. So we have a bit of an early end to the workday today because we're actually going to go do something very exciting and very photogenic. We've actually done this before, and I didn't include it in the videos last time because I was like, we make videos about boats, but honestly, I think what we're about to go do is universally interesting and exciting. I am thrilled about it. Last time we did it, I could not stop smiling ear to ear. My cheeks literally hurt afterwards from smiling so much for so long. So come with us and you'll meet a new character on the show pretty soon. This is Ginger, and this is Tom.
Hi everybody, my name is Tom Martin and I live in Bellingham, Washington. This particular airplane is a Cessna 172. It was made in 1973 and her name is Ginger. It is a real joy to be able to fly here and be able to share aviation with friends and family and just, anyone that has an interest.
Tom reached out to us a while ago after watching some of our videos and asked if we'd ever be interested in going for a plane ride over the San Juan Islands. And I think you can guess what our answer was. This is now our second flight with Tom and Ginger, and after the absolute magic of the first flight, I cannot wait to share this one with all of you.
It's magical. Thanks, Tom.
It's gorgeous air right now. I'm so excited. You know, when you see clouds like that right there, that's an upper level stream, and that means really nice smooth air. So, knock on wood, I hope we have really good smooth air on the way home.
Perfect. There are a lot of similarities between sailing and flying. You're free from the constraints of a road, and your safety is in your own hands in many ways. It requires a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but ultimately it brings you to places that you might only have ever dreamed about. It's hard to express how much this day away from the Refit meant to us, to find new inspiration, friendship, and adventure to remind us how beautiful life can be. Here we are, safe and sound. What a flight!
It's amazing.
It truly is.
I knew we'd get back in one piece.
I did too.
You gotta have that little suspense though. I'm gonna make it. Oh my God.
Yeah. That was incredible. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We feel so lucky.
Well, we're gonna do it again before the end of the summer.
Okay.
Before you guys head back to Canada or Europe. So,
Okay.
And then we'll go to Orcas that time.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good. Something to look forward to.
All right.
You're spoiling us.
Yeah.
Once is a memory for a lifetime. Yeah.
Thank you, Tom, and safe flight home.
Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure.
Safe
Let's
journey.
Thank you.